All right, guys. So I found the most hilarious cartoon to explain to us how black people are oppressed. Okay, trying to explain to us how I'm oppressed, right? And this apparently supposed to have something to do with critical race theory, right? It's called Critical Race Theory, the animated series, right? To explain to us dummies on the right, right? What critical race theory is, because apparently we don't know. So they had to make a cartoon about it. And this cartoon was done by Miss Kimberlé Crenshaw, one of the founders of critical race theory. So just keep that in mind, guys. This is supposed to be what critical race theory is, right? This is supposed to be a cartoon representation of it. So my uneducated self, right, my oppressed self, I'm going to watch this cartoon, and it's going to show me how I am oppressed and how I am losing the race to other people. Okay, so I'm going to react to this and go from there. All right, so as you can see here, guys, wealth disparities. They got the white woman and the white man, okay, starting in 1909, right? The white man is carrying, it looks like something with money on it. The white woman is carrying something with money on it too. So they're implying that well, white people have more money than black people. Well, I mean, what about the poor white person, right? Are there not poor white people in this country? Were there not poor white people in the early 1900s? Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure there were plenty of poor white people. There were probably more poor white people than poor black people. Okay, so I don't really know what they're saying here. And also, weren't women supposed to be oppressed too? Right? So this idea that white women started off so well, I'm not sure about that. Right? So I feel like there's a little bit of some bias going on here from the get-go. And then obviously you have, I guess that's a black woman and a black dude. Maybe that's a Hispanic person. I don't know. So apparently the white man and the white woman, they had a head start since 1964. So apparently black people weren't allowed to build anything. They weren't allowed to have any businesses. Yes, we know there was segregation, but I'm saying, like, black people were still able to work. Black people were still able to accumulate money. Apparently to them, it all started in 1964, right? That's when segregation ended. Oh no, discrimination. This storm of discrimination has held us back. Okay, what type of discrimination we talking about here? Right? Because just saying discrimination, I don't really know what you mean. Okay, again, these are the same people, who say that women have been discriminated against, right? Just women in general, but for whatever reason, the white woman is not getting the discrimination storm. She's not getting held back by that. I don't understand what's going on here, right? It almost seems like they're trying to tell a one-sided story here, because, I'm not one of these people that say there's no discrimination, but people get discriminated based off all types of stuff, right? It doesn't necessarily have to do with race all the time. I mean, in the dating market, if you're a short guy, you're going to be discriminated against, right? Matter of fact, I mean, people overlook height discrimination so much, okay? 90% of CEOs are over average height. 90%. So obviously there's some discrimination there. So my argument would essentially be that I don't believe that racial discrimination is the only explanation or even the main explanation for individual outcomes. I just don't buy that argument, to be quite honest with you. Oh no, poor schooling. Y'all see what this is leading to? You see what this is leading to? This is excuse after excuse after excuse for saying this is why black people can't get ahead. And since the woke revolutionaries want to talk about poor schooling, let's talk about it, because it's the right that is actually advocating for a better system that will help black people overcome this problem. right? With school choice. They're advocating for a system based off performance, okay? Based off having the funding follow the student and not the funding systems, okay? That are not being held accountable, that just waste government dollars, right? The right actually wants an outcome-based education where schools are funded based off their performance, where students can go to the best schools, right? If the schools are performance, they're going to get the money. But see, the left don't want that. They just want to fund these failing schools like what is happening in Baltimore that is primarily run by black people, by the way, okay? They want to continue to fund that and then want to ask for more money and say, well, we got poor schooling. That's what's holding black people back. Okay, then why don't you let the private market take over then? We've tried what y'all want. It's not working. Let's go to a full school choice. Some people on the right say we should just demolish the whole public school system. But they don't want to do that. They want to keep doing the same failed thing, and then they want to blame that as the reason why black people are being held back. When the right is like, okay, fine, let's try something different. No, we can't do that. It's ridiculous. They're not looking for solutions. This is victimhood. Oh, God. Underemployment. Oh, man. Underemployment. So what underemployment means is that you have skills, but your skills doesn't match the actual job that you're doing, right? So you're getting paid less for your actual skills. You're more qualified for than what the job you're actually working is, right? So, for example, you may be working a part-time job, or you have like a master's degree and you're working a job that only requires a bachelor's degree or something like that. It's kind of what that means. And this is what they're saying, that, again, black people experience underemployment. Apparently, nobody else experiences this except black people. And my argument throughout this video, guys, is not that these things don't exist or that these are not roadblocks that people experience, but this is something that everybody experiences. Okay, everybody experiences this type of stuff, right? It's not just black people that experience this. White people experience it, Hispanic people experience it, Asian people experience it. Everybody experiences roadblocks in life. The point is that regardless of whatever roadblocks you may experience, you have to still work hard, work smart, and take risks in order to overcome those roadblocks. Period. Everybody is going to face some type of adversity, no matter who you are. Okay? But the solution is always the same, no matter whether or not you have an easy life or a hard life. You got to work, right? You just got to overcome. Period. That's the only solution. Standardized tests. Apparently, standardized tests are racist. Right? Setting the same standard for everybody, right? Measuring success objectively, okay? It's racist, right? That's what's holding people back. Standardized tests, okay? Having the same standards for everybody. Because apparently black people can't compete. We can't compete against everybody else when it comes to, intelligence and testing, right? This is what this is saying. The school to prison pipeline. Okay. I mean, the solution to this one is pretty simple. Just don't commit crimes, right? Don't go to prison, right? Like most people that are in prison, right? For the most part, that are serving long sentences are there because they committed some type of violent crime or act that has led them to go to prison, right? Yes, I have been an advocate of, nonviolent drug offenders should not be locked up for long periods of time. As a matter of fact, they shouldn't be locked up in general, in my opinion. Even regardless of that, the law is the law, man. Right? Whether it's fair or not, the law is the law. You got to understand the law, and you have to abide by the laws and not get arrested and end up going to prison. It's actually pretty easy, right? I'm just saying here, right? As somebody that is statistically more likely to go to prison, a black man, I'm just saying it's pretty easy to avoid going to prison if you just don't commit crimes. I'm just saying, you just gotta be a little smart. That's all it is. Again, keep in mind, there's no type of personal accountability, personal responsibility. They're not gonna talk about any of that in this video whatsoever. Okay, they're all gonna blame it on it's everybody else's fault. Everybody else's fault. You're not responsible for getting a job that pays you well, right? That pays you based off the skills you have. You're not responsible for your own education, educating yourself. You're not responsible for not committing crimes. Okay, let's see what else you're not responsible for. Housing segregation. Oh my God. Okay. Housing segregation. Guys, listen. I live in suburban America, okay? For the most part. My neighborhood is mainly white people, right? It's black people. It's a lot of Indian people now, right? A lot of Indian people have moved into suburban America. This whole housing segregation thing, I really don't get it. I understand some of it, right? In terms of the inner city and stuff like that, I get that. But for the most part, maybe I'm ignorant because I live in, again, the South, and I've never experienced this whatsoever. White people and black people all my life have always lived together, and we have not been segregated by anything other than income, right? I mean, the segregation is based off income. If you can afford to live in a middle-class neighborhood, whether you're black or white, you just can. Matter of fact, when I lived in Charlotte, I lived in a middle-class, almost upper-middle-class neighborhood that was mainly black. It was mainly black people, right? Most of the neighborhood. But see, these people will tell you, that's not possible, right? Black people can't get access to nice neighborhoods. When I see it all the time, right? If you work an average middle class job, you can afford to live in an average middle class house. Nobody's stopping you from doing that. See, this is the type of stuff where, listen, I understand the history of redlining, right? Which was done by the Democrats, by the way. They love talking about that, but that was done by the Democrats. I do understand that, right? I do understand the effects of, not having equal access to the housing market early on, right, doing segregation, stuff like that. I do understand how that can play an effect on outcomes today. But today, the playing field has been leveled, right? Today, there is no restrictions there, and anybody can live in whatever neighborhood they want to live in, okay, regardless of their race or their skin color. But that's not the story that, they want to tell you. They don't want to tell you that all of this stuff has essentially been fixed. Okay, they don't want to tell you that. They want to tell you that black people are still oppressed and that, we can't even live in a neighborhood of white people, even though, again, I've lived in neighborhoods of white people and black people my whole life. Now, this video right here, guys, the main purpose is to victimize black people, is to tell black people, no, you're a victim. This is why you can't get ahead. Don't feel bad about the fact that you're not achieving or doing as well as others. That's the whole point of this video. It is literally to oppress black people. And see, if these people actually gave a damn about helping black people, right, they will actually make a video about how to overcome all these so-called roadblocks. Okay, we know the roadblocks. How do you overcome these roadblocks? What do you have to do to overcome these roadblocks? See, they're not going to never make a video about that because that's not an oppressive video. That's an empowerment video. They don't want to do that. Now it's racist to give drug tests. Drug tests are racist. And I'm pretty sure this is in reference to what happened to that Olympic athlete. I forget her name off the top of my head. In reference to her getting drug tested, because everybody was saying that, it's racist that she was getting drug tested because criminalization of marijuana, right? Drug testing for marijuana has racial roots. And it's like, bruh, everybody gets drug tested. When you get a job, okay, you have to get a drug test, whether you black or white or whoever, right? You have to get a drug test. If you on probation, right, if you get locked up, you got to get drug tests. If you play a sport, you have to get drug tests. I mean, last time I checked, there are black and white people who play sports who have to take drug tests. It is what it is. Guys, I mean, they're literally just making stuff up at this point. They're literally just making things up. Again, this whole idea of everything in society is built to oppress black people, I really don't get it. I really don't understand when all these same things apply to everybody else. Yes, there are certain things that disproportionately affect black people over white people, but there's things that disproportionately affect white people negatively over black people. Disparities will always exist. Matter of fact, Thomas Sowell, right, talks about this, disparities and discrimination, in his book, right? Disparities are natural, right? That's just what happens, okay? Just because there's a disparity doesn't necessarily mean that there's some type of government intervention that needs to happen. But see, it's funny because the critical race theories try to say, well, critical race theory is not about black people being oppressed and white people not being oppressed, or white people having power over black people, when this whole video literally it is about white people being oppressors and black people being oppressed. But the critical race theory say, oh, that's not what it's about. This video was done by Kimberlé Crenshaw, whom put this video together to illustrate the tenets of critical race theory. I don't know, maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. Shortened lifespan. Oh, black people have shorter lifespans. Well, you know why black people have shorter lifespans? The reason why black people have shorter lifespans is because, one, we're most likely to be murdered by other black men, okay? Statistically speaking, right? And two, because our diets tend to be worse, right? We tend to eat more junk food, and we tend to eat more high fat, high sodium diets, okay, aka soul food. I'm a victim, I know, right? I grew up eating fried chicken and, you know, fried cornbread and fried pork chops and, you know, pig feet, you know, things that are not necessarily good for me, right? I grew up eating that stuff. But fortunately, we have access to the internet, and I learned about diet and nutrition and how I should take care of myself in terms of how I eat, right? And once you do that, right, you change your diet, you change your lifestyle, you exercise, you know, you take care of yourself, this problem fixes itself. If certain people tend to eat certain diets, right? I mean, again, this is cultural based. Again, it can be economic based. There's a lot of factors that goes into that, but that is what's contributing to the shortened lifespan. Not necessarily because you're black, it's because you grew up in a certain culture of eating certain foods. Matter of fact, I mean, I'm pretty sure, you know, white people in the South who eat terrible diets, right, probably experience shortened lifespans as well, right? They probably experience dying earlier from heart attacks, stuff like that. Just like if you tend to smoke a lot of cigarettes, you're going to tend to get lung cancer. Your lifespan, for the most part, a lot of it is determined by your diet and your lifestyle, how you live. Oh, those connections. Oh, black people can't build connections. Black people can't network now, guys. This is what they're saying. Privilege. Here we go. The white man got it easy. Look, he ain't got to do nothing. Black man in jail. Did y'all see that? The white woman, she's still running. He got the old boy network. He went to Yale. Oh my God. So according to this, guys, if you are white, a white male specifically, you don't have to do anything. Your whole life has been easy peasy, lemon squeezy. You got connections, you got an old boy network. You ain't even got to run the race, right? You already gonna finish first because you started off good. Even if you're poor and white, right? Even if you're poor and white, you know, you come from bad background, you didn't have that many opportunities in life, don't worry. Because you're white, specifically a white male, you have it great according to this cartoon. Oh my God, bro. These people are so out of touch with reality. Like, it's insane. It's insane how out of touch these people are. And these cartoons and all this, like, this race stuff coming from the left, it's just getting to the point now where it is a parody, right? Like, that cartoon was literally a parody. Okay? Like, that cartoon in and of itself was racist, in my opinion, right? In the sense that, again, you're literally stereotyping people based off their race, when there are white people in this country who have it just as hard as certain black people, right? Specifically when it comes to economic status, right? They have it just as hard, okay? Trying to get ahead, trying to, make something out of themselves. Everybody has it hard to a certain extent, okay? Anyways, man, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.